All right, Unit 5 test review. I know you guys are all excited to take this. So, start off, we'll do the Part 2 test first. The Part 2 test has 2 questions, both of them together combined for a total of 16 points. Number 1 has 3 parts to it. So make sure that you answer all 3 parts. For each part, you're going to be presented with a scenario, and then you have to extrapolate what the answer would be. You're not given hard numbers, you're just given variables, and you need to apply the concept of positive and negative integers to these variables. When you're doing your answer, it's okay to plug in some possible numbers. They give you some restrictions on what these numbers could or could not be, and it helps to think of some numbers that they could be and plug them in and see what happens. Anyway, the big thing is make sure that you explain your answer. I want to see writing, okay? Number 2, you will be asked to simplify an expression something like the following. The good news here, this is not an algebraic proof. I do not need distributive property, commutative property next to the side. I just need to see you using all of the steps to simplify an expression like this. So how would you do that? First of all, let's distribute. -3 times 6 is -18. -3 times a negative x would be a positive 3x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times a positive 5 is 10. Combining like terms, -18 and positive 10 will give us a -8. 3x and 2x would give us 5x. If I'm going too fast, you can always press pause, and again, you can always come to Life Help and we can work some problems like this together. All right, the Part 1 test will have 10 questions. Each of them are worth 4 points, and you'll need to be able to do things similar to the following. For example, if you're given an expression like this and told that x and y equal this, be able to insert and simplify. So let's plug and chug. Instead of writing x, I'm going to write -1. Instead of writing y, I'm going to write -7. Remember, when we subtract, it's the same thing as adding the opposite. So -1 plus, what's -3 times -7? A positive 21. -1 plus 21 gives us a total of 20. All right, be able to evaluate expressions that have absolute value in them. Again, plug and chug. We've got a negative times whatever x is. We're told that x is 4.2 minus whatever the absolute value of y is. Okay, let's evaluate these absolute value bars. We're going to drop them, and remember, whenever we drop the absolute value bars, whatever is inside is actually a positive quantity. Absolute value is distance from 0. -9.5, if we were to draw a number line here, -9.5 is how many units from 0? 9.5. So this becomes -4.2 minus 9.5. Subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. So what is -4.2 plus a -9.5? 13.7. Negative. Remember, it's the most common mistake is to leave those negatives behind somewhere. Okay, proofs. Just because there wasn't one on the Part 2 test doesn't mean you're out of the woods where proofs are concerned. Be able to simplify an expression like this, justifying each step. What are we going to do first? Let's distribute that negative. When we do, we get -x. What's a -x? I mean a negative, same thing as -1. -1 times a -y, it's a positive y. And what did we do? We applied the distributive property. What do we do next? Well, let's get our x's together. To do so, we need to apply the commutative property. If you need to moo like a cow to make that happen, that's okay. Oops, that should be another x there, sorry. I was looking ahead to what was after the equal sign and I wrote it twice. All right, what's going to happen here? We have a negative x plus a positive x. That is equal to 0. You could say that this is the definition of addition. Therefore, y is equal to y. Okay, be able to apply that in some multiple choice question situations. In other words, know your properties. And if you have to say commutative and draw a picture of a cow to help you remember, go for it. All right, be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers. So 35 divided by -1/5. Remember, when we are dividing, we keep, flip, and change. We keep the first number, we flip the second number, we change the operator. Yeah, so 35 times 5 over 1 is equal to, first of all, make sure that you don't lose your negative. We've got a positive times a negative. Our answer is going to be negative. 35 times 5 is 175. You can put over 1 because there's our 1, but it's really negative 175. All right, let's go on to the next one. 5 times 3. Both of those are a positive value, so our answer there is going to be positive. 4 times -6 is -24. 15 times -2 is a -30. It's a -30 plus a -24, -54. All right, remember, if we are subtracting, it's the same thing as adding the opposite. Plus, 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 negative. So 14, now that we have just a PEMDAS problem, we're adding all the way across from left to right. 14 plus a +2 is 16. 16 plus a -4 is 12. Hey, if any of that was confusing, please stop by Live Help. I'd be glad to work on some similar problems with these whenever you need it. All right, be able to combine like terms to simplify. And we did some of this in the Part 2 test. If it helps you to use the commutative property, remember you're going to have to change these to positive first, because the commutative property does not work with subtraction. All right, now we have addition of integers, and this we can use the commutative property for. So let's get our numbers together and our variables together. -7 plus a -3 gives us a -10. Wow. A -4x plus a +5x gives us x. It's hard when you try to talk and write at the same time. All right. Distributing. Be able to distribute even if we've got variables and if some of those variables are integers. If it helps, you can plug first. Just make sure you got a bracket here. What's our x is -2. What's our y? -13. 3 times a -2 is -6. A negative times a negative gives us a +13. Oh, wait. No, that works. Okay, sorry. I was thinking I hadn't taken care of that. All right. -6 plus 13 is the same thing as 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Yes, 2 times, sorry, I had a phone call. 2 times 7 is equal to 14. All right. Dividing variables. Same thing, plug and chug. Let's substitute 12 for our x and negative 4 for our y. Simplify where we can. 12 divided by what's 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. What is 12 divided by negative 8? We know that our answer is going to be negative because we have a positive and a negative. And if we have something that doesn't match, we are going to have a negative relationship. 12 divided by 8 is equal to 1.5. Our answer is negative 1.5. 3 times 4 divided by, what's our y? Negative 3. In this case, we just have the multiplication at the very beginning of it. 12 divided by negative 3, our answer will be a negative because we have a positive and negative relationship here. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Also, remember, if you see something that's asking for reciprocal, think refliprical. All you're doing is flipping it over. What is the reciprocal of negative x over 3? It's negative 3 over x. Okay, here's something to smile about to get you on your way. If you have any questions about any of this material, please stop by Live Help or send me a K-mail. I'm glad to answer questions by K-mail. You can even send me a K-mail. Mrs. Lake, I don't understand why I didn't get number 5 on the quiz correct. I can look at it and determine where I think you might have an error in your mathematical thinking and then talk you through it or type you through it in a K-mail if you prefer that way to communicate. Anyway, please use me. That's what I am here for. Good luck on this exam.